Fam, we up. Made it a little bit early. I'm tired. Today was a light day. I'm tired. And I got a little, I guess I got a frog in my throat. We're going to kill him tonight. But we about to go live on Facebook. Just wanted to say peace to y'all. Hopefully you got the app. If you're listening in, you got the app. Want to see you get the app. We working on getting that iOS up. I'm waiting for word, and then we're going to get that iOS up, and then everybody can go on to the app, and we're going to get busy on this podcast. I know some of y'all like the images, so I continue in some form of fashion to doing the images. I'm waiting for a new product. But anyway, we're going to get the conversation popping off, but here you go.
Mr. Diddy, Mr. Diddy, Mr. Diddy.
Hey, Biggie, there's a big glass in there. Big glass. Can you give me one of my ambrosias? The bottle top opener, please. Is the ambrosia over there in the bottle? And a big bottle. It's a big glass like this, but I can put my whole glass out in it. That's that ambrosia, y'all. It's alive. Shouts out to Natty Bongo. I see you, my friend. That's how it pours when it comes out the bottle. Alright, family, I want to welcome you to Gye-Nyame Journey Media. You have joined the congregation of the mighty, and of course, this is, let me make sure I'm turning it the right way. Turned it off. My hands are slippery from that ambrosia. And this is Heart of a Simple production. strive to blow up your old paradigms. I'm your host, Brother Hatim. We are coming at you live on Spreaker as well as on Facebook. And tonight we have tribal quotes, and we're on a never-ending quest to find the wisdom of our ancestors so that we can move beyond the point of where we are right now. You know what I'm saying? We have to keep moving. We got to keep striving. And also we got to keep leaving our legacy. So I'm going to start today's show off with a small incident that happened to me that I had to think about this morning, because I'm constantly thinking about my ancestors. And one of the things that came across after the Daily Toast that a memory, and I'm quite sure I told this story before. Those of you that's listening now, those of you that'll be listening later, you know what I'm saying, that have heard the story before, bear with me. But at one point in time in my college career, I was very, very interested in martial arts. And Ohio State campus, there was a flyer floating around about this guy by the name of Dr. Wu. And Dr. Wu was, okay. All right, Facebook dropped off, so Spreaker, hold on for a second. Let's see what we can get popping off, because I don't know why Facebook, or I know why Facebook fell off. Let's go and turn that on and get Facebook back up. All right, Facebook is back up. All right, sorry about that, family. Sorry about that. I see y'all coming in. My signal, they say my signal was weak, so I had to go on and do some stuff. So shouts out to Miss Cynthia Johnson. Shouts out to Miss Navita Nelson. Somebody else is up on the line, but it ain't showing nobody in the house. It just show your names. It ain't give me no numbers. That's cool. All right, so family, back to my story. So I was in Ohio State, and I was interested in Kung Fu. I've always been interested in martial arts, and I had heard, excuse me, you have to turn it off. I was looking for a martial arts club, and it was a Kung Fu club at Ohio State campus that was taught by old dude by the name of Dr. Wu. Dr. Wu was, if those of you that grew up in Columbus and would peruse through the phone book, you would see Dr. Wu, right? Dr. Wu's school of martial arts, and Dr. Wu taught all these styles of martial arts, and I couldn't help but to wonder, how was he able to master all of these martial arts? So I went to his class, and we had what I thought was an open conversation, and I raised my hand and I made a statement and asked a question. And Dr. Wu responded to me, and he said, "What do I have to prove to you?" I'm a master of martial arts, and I have 7 generations of masters that are in my family that came before me, and they left me documents. So, I don't have to answer your question, nor do I have to take your statements. Who are you? And I walked out that day, because, I didn't want to walk out right away. I was embarrassed. I didn't want to walk out right away, and I'm like, damn. You're kind of right, because I started thinking back. I said, well, damn. What did my ancestors leave me? Why wasn't there any written records that was passed down to me? And that's when that was a part of when I really started looking for my history, because I'm talking about my personal family history. That's actually, I would say that might have been one of the sparks for me to go and formulate the information about myself and about my family that I needed in order to get the Daily Toast started. Because as I started studying history, I started realizing that my ancestors didn't have time to leave me no documents. My ancestors didn't have the wherewithal. Some of them couldn't even write. And there were certain reasons behind that, right? And, you know, as I started researching, I started understanding some of those reasons. And as I face my life on a day-to-day journey now, I am of understanding that I am in a critical piece. I am a critical piece in the history of my family as well as my people. Because now, not only do I have to pass on the documentations of others that have been writing, I have to be able to pass some information down to the generations from me. What sparked this thought was that I was having a conversation with a group of 8th graders. And I was asking them questions, and I asked them questions about culture, and I had to give them hints for them to kind of identify culture. And some of the stuff that they was throwing up as culture was a lot of the material things. And culture, when you really look at what culture was developed for, culture is developed by a people to help that people survive in the situation that they are in. So there will be certain cultural knowledge that needs to be passed from one generation to another. And then the question arose, you know, I mean, because when I'm going. So I asked the question, I said, are there cultures of failure? And are there cultures of success? And the kids said, yes, there are. I said, you know, and, you know, I kind of cut it off there because I didn't want to go too deep with that. But I'm saying culture can set you up for failure or success. Now, cultures of failure are usually cultures that are developed by an outside group for the group that's practicing the culture. Because in a sense, you have to program those individuals that you oppress to fail. See, because if I have to, you don't want to make, and check this out, you don't want to make oppression too labor intensive. This is why families had to be separated. This is why elders had to be, in a sense, killed or separated from the youth. This is why families had to be broke up. Because if a family is able to gather information and pass that information on, that means that those individuals are a step above. Especially if it's positive, family holding together type information, nation building type information. But when you are under oppression, you got to make sure that the message that you need to get to the people, get to the people. And we have been, in a sense, brought up in a culture that is based on our failure, right? A culture that has been produced for us that that makes it mandatory for us to self-destruct and to, in a sense, fail, right? But now, with the influx of the information that we have and this information technology, we can start identifying those culturally inappropriate behaviors. See, because those behaviors are anti-you. We have picked up a lot of anti-us behaviors. I have picked up a lot of anti-me, a lot of anti-my people behaviors. And we have to work our way through this, right? So when Dr. Wu said that to me, it sparked something in me because it was a tinge of embarrassment, but then again, it was a tinge of jealousy because what he said, and he knew what he said, would hit me in a certain way because he wasn't ignorant of history. He knows that my group had been stripped of knowledge, and I might be able to kind of debate him where I am, but when he started pulling the information from his daddy and start pulling the information from, there's no way I can actually win an argument because I'm battling 7 generations of his information. So what I strove to do was to start establishing information that I could pass on to my kids, specifically about us. And I'm challenging you to do the same. And I challenge those individuals that are seriously in Gye-Nyame journey. One of the things they have to do is write a book. And I encourage them to not write a book, just to write a book, but write a book that you could pass down to your kids so your kids can always get a piece of you. They can get an idea of what you went through. They don't have to make the same mistakes that you made. You don't want your grandkids coming up and get caught up in the same illusions that you were caught in and get caught on that hamster wheel of pursuing a success, right? Pursuing a dream that was never designed for them. You want to be able to create a new path for them. Not a wheel, but a new path for them. And you have to kind of lay out some of the roadblocks on that path, right? I seen an article, and I spoke about it this morning, that really bothered me. In Dayton, they are going to allow individuals to play sports with a 1.0 grade point average. And as I'm reading it, I'm seeing some of my some people that I respect saying, well, it's kind of good. And it's almost as if, for me, and this is just me, it's almost as if we have been cornered and beaten, not directly, you know what I'm saying, indirectly. Like I said, you don't want oppression to be labor intensive. You don't want to always have to go out and beat. You want them to be able to beat themselves. You want them to be able to surrender themselves. You don't want to have to go out and battle them and force them to surrender. So if you put this in the education and you put this in the mind state of them, they're automatically going to fail, right? They're going to do your work for you. And that's what we do. So we're looking at this grade point average thing, and it's, for me, it's bigger than just the grades. It's bigger than the sports. They are going to encourage, and I just asked. I'm confused here, right? A 1.0 means that I have put no effort forward. I have other athletes who are struggling with a 2.0, 2.1, 2.2, 2.3. How about taking the resources that you would apply to those with a 1.0 and apply it to those that got a 2 and above, and just keep it basically the same, right? And then we, as adults, need to start getting involved with some of our young people so that we can make sure that they get the basic skills from the schooling. See, because one of the things that Amos Wilson put on me that I never forgot, not that I met him in person, but when you watch his videos on schooling or education should be about what the nation needs. So some of us may have to take a so-called pay cut, even though ain't a lot of jobs out. Some of us may need to go into these classrooms, whether as visitors or as teachers. So one, we can encourage our young people, and two, we can give our young people reality. Because right now, what a lot of our children are not getting is reality. I have children that I work with that are in poverty and don't even know that they're in poverty. Let me say that again. I have young people that I work with that are in poverty and don't even know that they, as well as myself, is in poverty. We're trying to enter ourselves in a game that costs money to play. It's sort of like it's sort of like coming in late on a game of Monopoly, and they let you in, but then in letting you in, they don't give you the $200 to start, and you got to go around 8 times before they give you the $200. It's crazy. It's crazy, and we honestly got our kids like, you can win, and if you don't, it's on you. And I've been wrestling with this all week because of some personal issues that's popping up in my life and in my family, and I have to look around and be like, damn, did I set some of these young people up for failure? Did I set them up for possible depression? Possibly wanting to harm themselves because they have not been able to achieve all the things that at one point in time I said they could achieve if they just apply? Now, I know the application a lot of times ain't pushed through at 100%. But once again, that goes back to that legacy. What is the legacy that was left for us? And what is the legacy that we're planning to leave? And will you be able to leave more for your child than your father and your grandfather and your grandmother and your mother and your great-grand, will you be able to leave more than they left you? And if you can't leave them a lot, can you leave them some information? Can you leave them some knowledge that will help them be able to construct a life that will be as free as they possibly can be in that time? Many of us and many of our elders is dying hold knowledge. Not passing knowledge down, not speaking, not writing, and just holding the information. And we have to start prying that stuff up out of ourselves and start sharing it. If you can't write, get somebody to do it for you. If you can't write, form a story and tell it to the children about your life so that they understand that they're not alone. A lot of our young people right now are out here depressed. And I'm not talking about the doctor depressed. I'm talking about they're looking at life and like, God damn, how can I win? And they like, well, maybe it's me. Maybe it's me. Because sometimes I'll be on that shit. But damn, maybe it's me. You understand what I'm saying? And it's not all you. And it's not all me. And it's not all them. And we got to let them know.
Is being recorded.
We got to let them know the honest, the goodness, truth about what's going on. And we got to be honest with them. And we got to be honest about where we are. Somebody on the line. Who on the line? Go ahead.
This is Lady J.
What's up, Lady J? Uh-oh, my sister Debbie Harrison is on the line. She's on too. So shouts out to everybody that's here. Lady J, what's going on before we get to these proverbs? Because I'm going to knock these out.
I did want to tell you something. So I took a picture with my daily coach and
hold on, it broke up. You said you took hold on, it broke up. You said you took a picture with what?
With my daily coach shirt.
Uh-oh. Where you put it at?
Oh, it was on my Facebook. But now it's my post. I think it's going to be like my profile picture at my job, because that's one of the teachers. She went on my Facebook and she took a picture that she needed of me, and that's the picture she chose.
Yeah,
she must have liked the shirt.
So you mean when people come up to your door to read about who you are as a fabulous teacher, they gonna see a Daily Toaster shirt on?
Yeah. When the parents receive a notice telling them that I'm their child's teacher, they'll see their Daily Toast shirt on.
Lord have mercy. All right, hey, that's what I'm talking about. You ready to get in these proverbs, or you got a word for the people before we get in? And you got to keep it kind of short, because I know you. You got a word for the people before we get into it?
Yeah, I do got a word for the people. But I probably shouldn't say it, because I don't know. I just tell the people to continue to do just what I say. Continue to volunteer. Continue to, just do something. I remind the people that I work with that coach with me, right?
Right.
I constantly have to tell them of, I look at cheer and a lot of the things that I do as a ministry, right? Telling them that people are watching, right? Our children, and outsiders. But I always tell them why I got involved. And I really just didn't like the caliber of women that were coaching my daughter. You know what I mean? I had no experience, but I felt like the least I could give these girls was some character, or be an advocate for them in the way that their coaches would do them, right? And so I got involved for this. And one thing I try to do, because I'm a single mom, is provide opportunities for parents to fundraise and things of that sort. And so when I tell people to get involved, it's just as simple things like that, just being present in the moment. And just, like I said, having I have a number of girls this year, and I'm thinking, these girls deserve women of right quality. And I look at my parents, and I think you may not have any talent as far as cheer and drill or some of these other activities, but these are things that you learn, and it gives you an opportunity to bond and build up your child and relationships, but also it gives you an opportunity to touch other children. That's the only way that we're really going to just turn this around for our children, right? I hear people, they constantly talk about, well, the children are only in school. I'm going to give you an example. The children are only in school for so many hours. What can you do in those hours? And I tell people that is your opportunity to grab them. That is an opportunity to make your mark for whatever time. It is true, these, our children, they return to situations, circumstances, but just like I think about the whole premise behind the rescue, release, restore. I love it. Taking children out of their place where it is chaotic, providing them a safe haven, and a place to unpack some of those things, and then putting them back in their communities where they can do the work. And I just, I look at my new Instagram. Oh, I'm sorry, Hakim. A very long day made me, like I said, if you ain't got the money, the things are hard, but your time is valuable. Our time is valuable. That's why I tell us every week, get out, volunteer, go into these rec centers. Our children need us. Our children, they deserve. Step out your comfort. That's how we're going to rebuild.
See, one of the fallacies of the culture that has been put on us is that we, I believe, let me state that first. I believe that we have been taught that our lives are our own. Our lives belong to us. We are the rugged individual. And what I am coming to, and what I have known for a long time and been acting on and didn't even know it was, that it's going to take all of us. My life is not my own. It don't belong to me. It belongs to my people. You understand what I'm saying? So, and when I start being selfish with my life, and start piling up on things, you know what I'm saying? The more things I get, the more empty I become inside. And you can see it with some of these people. They got all these material things, but then they got to go see a psychologist. They got to take drugs. They sick. The more material things, and I'm not saying not to have material things, but what I'm saying is we have to realize that for our children, after we get to a certain age, our lives become our peoples. And it becomes our tribe, and it becomes our families. And we are the fertilizer. We form the fertilizer in which the next generation grow. And if we are not doing what we need to do to become strong fertilizer, and fertilizer dies, you know what I'm saying? If you are not doing what it takes to be that strong fertilizer for your children, then what the hell are you existing for? Your name you don't deserve to be on the daily toaster list. And we have to be very wary of those individuals that come at us and say it's all about you. No. Especially now when everybody is circling their wagons, everybody except black folks. Everybody's circling their wagon. Hey. And as it gets to, I just had a conversation. Somebody told me, he said they know somebody with a master's degree working at Amazon because there's nothing out there. And if you think that's hard, and all of us, we got people in our family that depend on us. If you think this is hard right now, I want y'all to wait for another 2 years. I really want y'all to really think about how's it going to get in the next 2 years.
What is his degree? What is a master's degree in?
I don't know. I ain't asked. I really wasn't interested.
Well, that's not it. That's not a Your statement, I don't understand. But that's
Well, all right,
not
cool.
a,
Check it out. You don't have to understand that. But do you understand numbers? Can I give you some
said this
numbers? Let me give you some
person
numbers.
has a master's degree and not.
Well,
There's two things I want to say. I wonder what this. I would need to more information. What is a master's degree in?
So you don't.
And what do they make at Amazon?
You don't.
What time?
You don't realize that there's a lot of us with degrees that first off are not working in the fields that, you know what I'm saying? A lot of us, I ain't gonna say a lot. You know what I'm saying? Let's just say there's some out here who have got degrees and are not able to find employment. You don't agree with that?
Okay, can I say something? Can I say something to that?
Go ahead.
I want to say that the issue, a lot of times, something I found when I graduated was the experience does count. The sooner that this idea of an apprentice, this idea of our young people starting working on their craft younger is something that is really key. And so what I found that employers are looking for people with experience. So these schools that provide early work and opportunities and things like that to pick up a trade, they're really doing just what our kids need, because these employers want people to come in who come in with experience in their craft. So a lot of people I know got degrees, and then I don't know that they ever, like at OSU, for example, they didn't require you to do an externship. So you would graduate with a degree, but you've never had any experience.
So you saying black folks? Hold on,
sometimes that means starting,
because I'm talking about us
starting with the entry level position.
So I'm talking about us. So you saying a lot of us might not be employed because we didn't have internships. I mean, because the only point that I'm saying is that even those of us who followed all of the advice of our elders and have a work history, because I know for a fact the person, because I'm just not trying to get into their business or put their business out here, but the person that they were talking to me about, I know, and I know they have experience in their field, and right now they are in hard times, so they needed to get some type of job, and the only job that was out there was for this almost $1 trillion company that pays absolutely no benefits, and that's the only thing that was available for them. Now in Columbus, let me say this: for those of us that are in Columbus, many of us are blessed in Columbus. Columbus is a lot different than some of these big cities, and really, we need to understand this. We need to understand this because there are people who have valid, employable master's degrees with internship qualifications, with the proper degree in the science and the other stuff, and they can't find employment in what they do. Now, part of that is they're looking for employment. The other part of that is that we have to understand we're working in a system right now that is not designed. I mean, it's not for our success. It's not there. And that's my opinion. Now I know you might feel different.
And I guess my piece is just a little different in the sense that you can have anything in this world that you're willing to work towards. So I believe it's the only thing holding people back a lot of times.
How old are you right now? How old are you right now? See, because I just got them talking about. Hold on, I just got them talking about that, right? Because part of that piece, because that's a beautiful sentiment, that's a beautiful idea, right? But for example, we have young people that me and you work with that right now are frustrated because they have applied all that they could and they still can't get ahead. See, after years of talking like you, right, and witnessing what's going on around me, even though my life is full of blessings, but far as moving in the business and moving in creating, you know what I'm saying, stuff from absolutely nothing, and then looking at the numbers. Wait, hold on, time out. I ain't finished. Hold on. And looking at the actual numbers, and you start seeing, because a lot of people say black folks got a lot of money, we waste a lot of money, but the fact of the matter is that when you compare where we are wealth-wise, $1,500. When you take out the depreciable stuff like the couches and shit, and this chair I'm sitting on, and my car, and you take all that off, the total wealth of the average black family is $1,500. That's not enough to pay rent in America for 1 month. And we got children who are competing against children who have 3 generations worth of money. And our children are inheriting dust, but then we turn around and be like, you're not doing it hard enough. I have a problem.
Okay,
I have a problem
I
with
want
that.
to tell you.
Listen, go and tell me your story, because I'm going to smash that shit. You need to be clear.
And I'm ready for the...
Go ahead.
I'm ready.
I'm going to smash that shit.
It's 3
Go
words.
ahead.
Pursuit. 3 words are pursuit of happiness. And with that, we never strive to obtain those things that we want. We work towards them, and I can only control the things that I can control. I can't control the system. I can't control.
But the system influences
TV.
your life. But the system controls what you could get. The system.
Okay, and so then, and I'm gonna say this to you, Tim.
Go ahead.
My mentality, my way of thinking, is what took me from where I started and got me where I am. And so this is something that is this whole mentality, this whole ideology.
Right.
Because
that is
what I thought for me. And
I thought it was my mentality as well that got me to where I am.
Yeah.
Now hold on. Hold on.
The way I think that I'm sharing.
Hold on. Go ahead.
Yes.
The whole piece is your narrative, your personal narrative. This is why I started Day Toast. Your personal narrative marks out all the shit that happened prior to you. Right?
Can I say something?
Go ahead.
I'm going to say this. I consider myself to be a spiritualist, right? And so again, my thinking, this thinking that I have, this mentality that I have, that I can think the things like, so these things, these jobs, I had a degree, and I remember wanting a job in my field.
Y'all call in and help my sister.
And I applied.
I'm about to get her.
And I applied, and I did not get it. My first degree is in criminology and sociology. I was going to be a juvenile probation officer. I was going into juvenile law. And so I applied to be a probation officer, right? I figured I got a degree. And I had been working with children for a number of years, but nothing in corrections, right?
Right.
And so I go in and I asked these people for this job, and they kept denying me. So one day I just asked the HR, I said, why can't I have this job? She said, because you have no experience doing the work. You have to start off at entry level. And that's what I did. And I did it, and then I went into teaching. I decided, I'm going to teach. I want to stop the kids from even coming in here in the first place. But that was my ministry for some time. But I watched people that look like me move up the ranks, come in there, young people, come in there at that entry-level position, and now they have moved up the ranks. But they had to start somewhere with that degree, working with people who did not have a degree, making the same money. You know what I'm saying? So I think that there's levels to it. I think that, I don't know. But I'm saying we have will. We have will. And I want to say that there are going to be many obstacles, many things that are placed in our way. Mm-hmm. It is true. But what I want to impart is that I have to control the things that I can control. And so, with that being said,
going back to my point, your narrative has to include I ain't going to say have to. For me, I have to look at what my father did, what my grandfather did, what my mother did, what my grandmother did, because I am a continuing saga of that. And they came out of a certain situation that, in a sense, contributes to the situation that I am in, and I believe that you are in. Now, I'm not, because I was a big component. In many ways, I still am a big component of magical thinking, right? But family, all I'm saying is, and because in your advice, you're not telling people just to do magical thinking. You're telling people to take action. This this I'm spiritual and this means that everything that's
It
coming
not
at
only
me.
does it take action,
Hold on.
It takes you seeing and believing something that is inconceivable. That's what it takes. It takes the vision. That is a part.
I believe I can fly type
it.
stuff, right? I believe I can fly type stuff, right? If I see it, I believe that I can do it. Now, take that and apply that to a business model. You see what I'm saying? Because you're going to have to make steps. And in order to fly, somebody's going to have to sign on something in order to make it possible for you to get some credit in order for you to do it. You understand what? And there's certain barriers that have been set. And yeah, some of us make it through. I agree. My grievance is with the way.
A lot of us make it through.
No. Because if you know, wait, hold on. Your number, what you're talking about, what you no, see that's that messy. Hold on. This is where we disagree because you get off into this magical thinking. Because one, you're falling for the veil. Hold on. When we look, yes, it is. Because when you look at the reality, and you look at even when we go into the mythology of our ancestors, there was this thing called the veil of Isis or Maya, the illusion of the world. And many of us need to get caught up in illusion, because if we face the fact of where we are, we might lose our goddamn minds. And some of us need to get caught up in illusions. But I can't get caught up in illusion because I got 30-year-old individuals trying to contact me needing help. You know what I'm saying? And they've been working and they've been trying. And they might not be the smartest individuals in the world. I got unemployed family members that need my goddamn help, when at one point in time they would have been able to go to a factory and get that shit, but they are being closed out. We are in the time of the trillionaire. Apple just hit $1 trillion. Next one is Amazon, and then after that is possibly Google. It's a race between Google and them to get to $1 trillion, and wealth is being calcified, and yet we are being told that you're not working hard enough. You don't have the experience. You don't have what you don't have. What you don't have. Hold on. What we don't have is access to capital, and we don't have access to the mic to get what we need. That's what it is. And until because sis, all I'm saying is, and we don't have to agree. Gye-Nyame journey ain't about us agreeing. Gye-Nyame journey is about us sharpening our blades. But when you look at the numbers,
can I say this?
are you going to say something outside of, because I hear your experience and your story is a very, very
it's not
powerful
just my
one.
story.
No, but hold on. Hold on. Before you say anything else. Before you even go any farther, let me say this to you, right? We see a few of us make it, but the few of us that make it think that our story is everybody else's story. You understand? That's a bias that we have.
Why would you think that what makes you think that I think that?
Because you on it, because you sit up here and say, because you was able to think it, you was able to think it, so everybody else should be able to think it. So if you are in poverty, it's your fault. Let me say this. Right? No, but hold on.
Why are you putting words in my mouth?
No, I'm asking a question. I'm asking a question. If you are in poverty, it's your fault.
What I said. But let me say this,
I'm just asking. Answer the damn question.
We look at things differently. I
already know that. That's why I love you on the show.
I am familiar with the people from where I came, right? I'm familiar. They too stood up. They too got knocked down. They too brushed themselves off. The Negro speaks rivers. So my people is no different to that. When I'm looking at my people and I'm thinking about the people that I've encountered on my path, I'm not just talking about my story. When I was coming up, people thought my story was unique. But the more people I meet, the more I understand that these people that have
where is the majority of your people?
They too stumbled and they too failed.
Where is the majority of our people? Me and you, wait, hold on. Me and the majority of the people that's on this timeline, where is the majority of the people that we're talking about? Where are they?
Okay.
I'm going to tell you where they are.
Okay,
they are
is
one
my last
paycheck
point.
away from being homeless.
This
That's
is my
where they
last
are.
point.
And
This
that's
is my
not where they
last
should
point.
be when they
That-
built
this
this
is
whole
my last
goddamn
point.
country up. And what we start to do, we start allowing people to fool us into
Okay.
believing that it's a hustle. That is the problem.
Let
It
me-
ain't the
let me-
fact.
let me-
It ain't
let
the
me-
fact
let me-
that your grandfather was froze out, and your grandmama was froze out, and that your great grandmama was froze out, and that your mama was froze out. Do you know that I'm at an age right now where my family where our people really just started to vote when I was born? God damn it, we was enslaved, we went through Jim Crow, we went through all this shit, and we built up the richest and the most powerful country in the world, and me and you got to sit up and have a discussion, and I don't mean to be disrespectful, but I'm just saying, I believe that sometimes we get so goddamn spiritual that we don't look at the goddamn reality. These motherfuckers, they're not playing with us. They're freezing us out. And we
Okay,
can't
so
see
let me
it because
say
we
this.
believe
Let
that
me
I can
say
think
this.
my way up out
And
this shit. You can't think your
Let me
way
say
up out of
I
this.
think that sometimes you put extra words in my mouth because maybe you've heard somebody's argument and you want to impress that on me. But I didn't say a lot of the things that you said. But I will say this:
You
every
do
day
some magical thinking.
I'm working, and yeah, it may not be the majority, but this is let's just say that this is a start where I say let's do what we can do. Why I started this off with saying we need more people volunteering their time,
I agree.
putting their hands on these children.
I agree.
Because I have parents that out of all these years that I've taught, right, since 2003, I've been in and out of the education field, right. What I have seen, we don't got where we can start. We got to start with the kids. We got to start with the kids. This is not about something we're going to see in a lifetime. It's about something that we.
So you talking about generational warfare, right?
We got to start. We got to start with the kids, man. I'm sorry, gross majority. You want to talk about the majority of people who don't value education, who don't value education, don't value their children's education? Well, let's start with the kids, Hatim. Let's start with what we can do. Let's start with the change. More black people going into classrooms and education. More parents valuing education. Going back to the basics, the rules. Treat people how you want to be treated. Respect your elders. People ain't teaching their kids the basics, and then. But let's start with the kids, Hatim. That's all I can say.
Listen, and I agree with that. Start with the kids, but we have to make sure because education. When you really look at what education is supposed to be for, it's supposed to help the nation grow, survive, and thrive. Right now, who are our children being educated to help grow, thrive, and survive?
Okay, exactly. That's why I just said we need black people to go into the field of education.
We don't just need black people. We need black people with certain things on their minds. And being willing to tell our kids, because I don't want all black people around my damn kids. I'm just being honest.
Oh my God, I can't take you serious. I really can't take you serious.
So you honestly think that just putting somebody that's black in a classroom sometimes is a benefit? This is what
I'm telling you. This was what I'm telling you. If we look amongst the so-called quote-unquote conscious community, the enlightened community, if these individuals who are teachers would go and get their credentials so they could be educated.
So you're saying what I'm saying. Fabulous. You just don't want. We just don't need black people in the classroom. We need black people with nation building on their mind in the classroom.
I don't care what they got on their mind.
I ain't with that. To be
honest,
I'm sorry.
I don't care what they got on their mind. Go get a damn degree and go into a classroom. The kids, they look like you. They should see people that look like them. Professionals. Everybody got something to get. They're going to give what they have. Now, let me meet you where you are. And then let's open up a school where we actually educate. Let's go into the universities and start educating these teachers that will go into these classrooms.
So we're going to change the system.
Let's do that. But
we're going to change the system from the inside out.
To consider the occupation and understanding from a nation builder's perspective, we have no choice but to go into these fields where we are underrepresented and where we are overpopulated.
So
go to where we need to be with the children.
Now, so you
Take
doing
the pay
that,
cut.
you doing that, I'm doing that. I'm just saying, I'm not on the
Take the pay
magical
cut.
thinking. I'm just saying. See, but now,
We're
but hold
hiring.
on, time
We're
out.
hiring.
And this is another issue I got because I sent you a piece, and you say you ain't get it. So I'm gonna send it again. But it talks about possibly why there's not a lot of black teachers in the classroom. And I need you to listen to that piece before you drop that shit again on me, because I hear you. Because it's not just a paycheck. Why black teachers might not be in the classroom at this point in time. Miss Cynthia Johnson says, like you two, I service children in the school system. School is back in session. I got to go to bed early just like our youth in order to be effective for my babies. And Miss Cynthia, thank you for joining us, and I appreciate you tuning in and supporting the journey in the way that you do. Somebody from Gye-Nyame Journey, I don't know who piloting it right now, is the relationship between black parents not caring about education because education didn't work for them. And that's one of the pieces that I'm saying, because we got a lot of people who got education.
It works for a lot of people. I don't know.
But hold on. It worked for you. Believe it's a lot of people. But you know, me and you got the skills where we can actually get the numbers on this, and we don't even have to argue about it. You understand what I'm saying? Wait, hold on. We got the skills. We could do a survey of 100 of the parents that me and you see, right? You know what I'm saying? Because like I said, I got kids that are in the school where majority of the individuals are in poverty, and the kids don't even realize that they are in poverty. You understand what I'm saying? So they're not for somewhere the disconnection is being made. I got kids coming to school kicking it, and it ain't necessarily because they think they don't value education. They might think that their parents is paid and they don't have to do nothing. And I'm sitting up here like, wow, y'all actually sitting up in this classroom like y'all rich kids. I don't understand. Y'all need to be. We got stuff to do. I don't see no football players. I don't see no basketball players. What our community needs is politicians. We need we need mayors. We need city council people. If we're gonna do it like you saying, we need school teachers. We need men and women of big affairs, as Marcus Garvey would say. We need business people. And y'all sitting around here chilling. And I don't know if I can, you know what I'm saying? And I don't know if I can really blame the parents, because the parents were miseducated. Because we all, in a sense,
let me tell you this. That we dropped the ball, period.
Oh.
When I look at how these kids behave versus how I behaved and where I came up in, we dropped the ball. We dropped the ball on the basics. My mom was a dope-fiend prostitute. One thing she told me every day is the only way I was going to make it was to be educated. To go to school. And my parents taught me they used to tell me, your teacher tells you how to think. We teach you how to think, not what to think. Right? My parents were key on, like, helping me construct my own understanding, my own knowledge. They forced me to question my teachers. They forced me to study. They forced me to ask questions, right? They forced this on me. And my mom had a 9th grade education, but she understood that. And she instilled that in me. And it is education, and I'm not just talking about schooling. I'm not just talking about going to
be
school.
Clear,
education
because
is the key.
Because when you say that to a majority of people, that's what they think.
Education is the key to success.
Be clear, because when you say education, when we say education is the key, everybody think that we just talking about going to college.
No, that's not what I'm talking about.
All right, cool. But you got to be clear about that, because that is the framework that people understand it. Because I'm constantly learning. I try to set that example for my children. I'm constantly learning. I'm constantly listening to different stuff and trying to learn new stuff. And I'm constantly listening to, you know what I'm saying? I'm constantly trying to read books or listening to books in front of my children, as well as not just for them, but for myself, so I can set a pattern up so that they know that it never stops. You know what I'm saying? And you always get more knowledge. You know what I'm saying? But they have to see that. And what I'm saying is that, and we could look at the parents and we could say it's the parents, but then who raised them? And then we got to look at who raised them.
We dropped the ball.
Hold on.
Our ancestors gave us the blueprint. We have dropped the ball. We have dropped the ball. We failed our children.
Well, and to a certain extent, I agree with you. But in another instance, I got to look at what some of these people have went through, and I have to really be like, damn, it ain't just, it ain't
everybody
just,
went through something.
but
everybody went through something.
Okay, and that's exactly what conservatives say.
Yeah, everybody.
That's
exactly
what conservatives say. Everybody went through something. Pull yourself up by your own bootstraps.
Everybody has a story.
Right. Everybody's supposed to have a story. That's what's called life. But when you have, let me get into the
I don't feel sorry for nobody.
Hey,
nobody.
Hey, it ain't about feeling sorry. It's about having compassion.
Life, liberty, because
the issue
it's a piece in
there's
your
a
mind.
Personal issue. It's a personal issue that me and you both dealt with, and when I came down on it hard, you say you don't feel sorry for somebody. I know that's bullshit, right? Because when I came down there and I did it, and I tell you why I did it, you totally disagree with it. Right? And it's like, yo, I don't feel sorry for you.
That is nothing to do with what I'm talking about.
Yes, it does. You said you don't feel sorry. You say you don't feel sorry for nobody. You so feel sorry about that. Oh, nobody. Wait, hold on. Doing that.
Whatever you want in the world, you can have. Put your mind to it.
Doing that is not giving a pity party. What I'm talking about when you see feeling sorry for somebody does absolutely nothing for them. When you have empathy for other people, you can at least try to put yourself in their shoes. Hold on.
Situation.
Wait, hold on, Regina. Hold on, time out. Hold on, time out.
School. If you are talking about that, Tim, you are dead wrong.
I'm dead wrong, right? I'm dead. That's what I'm saying. You don't feel sorry for nobody. I gave clear instructions they wouldn't follow, and they got consequences. But wait, hold on, time out. That ain't what you told me. Hold on, Regina Idrisu says, I have not dropped the ball. I have not failed my children. I do what I can to serve others and do my best to not fail, not to fall into the trap and to feeling defeated. Yes, we have dropped the ball and we have to pick it back up. And I'm like, yo, it's kind of like a paradox, because in a sense the ball was dropped, because there's certain parts of our culture that we still have that can energize and can move us to the next level.
Tell me what they are. Tell me what they are.
You ready?
Did you call me?
Yes.
No, I didn't.
You said Gina.
I didn't say Gina. It's real life here, Gye-Nyame. I didn't say Gina. And if I called you, you're supposed to be asleep. I don't understand. Our ancestors, as you said, left us a blueprint in their words that was passed down to us, in the stories that was passed down to us, because those are cultural manifestations that teach us about survivals, that teach us about all of the principles that we talk about. In Gye-Nyame, we talk about the Millennium 7. We also talk about the Nguzo Saba, which basically are the same thing. And those principles can help us move forward if we are applying them. But it takes more than just individuals applying them. It takes groups working together to accomplish this. Now, if we are facing the world as individuals, we got to change that. Because when people say we have failed, and I like the honesty about that, and I know some of us we like, no, I'm doing the best that I possibly can. And what we're talking about, and when we talk about we have failed, what we're talking about is that there was a generational break somewhere. Because I want y'all to dig this. I read a paper the other day on the Daily Toast where they talked about the housing crisis in 2009 erased all of the economic progress that black folks made over the last 30 years. That last 30 years before 2009 was all of the economic accomplishments that some of our people fought and died for, or at least thought they was fighting and died for, that was automatically stripped away from us. So what we have to be able to do is to be able to look at the situations, not in a sense take it personal and be like, boom, as a group, there are certain things that we are failing at. As a group. As individuals, some of us may be getting down, but the issue is, I could teach my children success, but if I surround them about...
it starts with one, and it ripples out. So it's going to take one.
Hold on.
It's going to take that one to start in their home.
Regina Idrisu, she talking to me. Hold on. Hold on. Stop. You got the mic, but somebody is out here, and she needs to be heard. Regina Idrisu says, I reject that voice of defeat. We really need to be careful about how we talk about ourselves if we believe words have power. We cannot speak life to our defeat. We can talk about struggle, but can be made more careful by speaking defeat. And it's not that now. If we was playing football, and I took my team out, and we got our ass beat on the field, and we knew that the team that beat us, we was gonna run into them again in the playoffs. Is it defeat to be looking at the shit that we did wrong? It's not defeat to review your strategy, reassess the strategy, and then find another strategy that can work. The strategy that we have been applying has not been working as a group. Now, some of the shit that we're doing as individuals, and if you have been successful with it, you need to write it down and you need to share it. And it's not defeatist to look at where you're losing. When the average black home, when you go at 50%, when they do those percentages and we look at it, maybe black folks lying. I don't know. You know what I'm saying? Maybe the numbers they're looking at is lie because Mark Twain says there's three types of lies: a lie, a damn lie, and statistics. And I'm like, boom. But you still need to be able to look at it and see where the reality is. And when I'm at a school where everybody could get free lunch because there's poverty. In a city like Columbus,
that's not why. You look at some of these schools that service students of poverty, and look at some of their the schools that have been able to produce.
You ain't even talking about. Hold on. You ain't. Hold on. You going? I just want to be clear. You going to something else? I use that. I use that example.
It has nothing to do with poverty.
No. What?
Poverty is not the reason. It's the
not
fact
what?
that they do not value education. They don't, but their poverty ain't that's something we can't control. We need to focus on what we can control.
Now, so we need to ignore the poverty part of the equation.
I didn't say ignore
because
poverty.
you know that is part of the equation.
Say that.
You know, far as nation building, poverty, we got to fit that in our equation. And if you ignore any part of the equation when you're trying to solve the problem, you always gonna come up with the wrong goddamn answer.
This.
That's that magical thinking again. That's what I'm saying.
I'm going to say this. We
ain't gonna make it to the Proverbs tonight.
At this point, I can't change your economics, but maybe I can plant something in your mind that will change it.
And that's what you're talking about. And in a sense, that's
how we pull.
That's where we need to be. That's where we need to be. Like you said, getting into the classrooms,
Correct.
and getting and start educating our children so that their generation will be able to pick up where some of us, where in a sense previous generations
Correct.
and even some of us have fumbled. Because we are in a generational struggle. And when we start taking it personal and we start looking at my individual life, that's, you know what I'm saying? That's sort of like, I was on a losing football team. And one of the things that I noticed about a losing football team and a winning football team was that the losing football team always talked about what I did and what you need to do and you need to boom, boom, boom. But the championship teams that I were on was always about the group.
Correct.
You understand what I'm saying? And it's
Correct.
like because this is the issue. If we succeed and if we have one individual succeeding, where does that individual supposed to fit into our community? He can't. He needs to go to another place.
Though. That's why I said there's many of us. There's so many of us.
Oh, see.
The fabric is changing. We are in the midst of the Great Awakening.
Hold on. Time out. When you say success, right? Because I'm talking about, I'm clearly talking about something else different from you. And I just want us to be clear. When you talk about success, please point out what success, because you're right. In many ways, you are successful, but in the way that I'm talking about, and maybe that's where the signal's getting crossed. In the way where I'm talking about, maybe we're talking about two different things. Because from your angle, I see my success. And I focus on that, but there's other parts of my life where I see things are falling short. And I need to make sure that we're talking the same language so that we don't get our signals crossed.
We're not.
Hold on. We got something on Gye-Nyame Journey that I missed. Let me get it. Thank you for putting that up, Miss Regina. Sister Jill says, both of you are correct. Some of us have dropped the ball in our families and in our community, but others of us have continued to work hard. Either way, we got to keep on working. The downfall of our community after the false liberation of the 1960s. Then they put Allende trying to tell Allende to call into the show. Our value 614-556-4535. Our values change along with our money. And see, that's where I'm going. You see what I'm saying? Because sounds like y'all about to fight. Oh, okay. Go ahead. That's where the disconnect is for us. Go ahead.
That's bullshit.
Okay.
And I don't even curse. And I'm going to tell you why it is. Because when we look at the statistics, we're going to look at the differences in our values when we left up out of the South during Reconstruction following slavery. If we look at what our people did right after having nothing, we know that that income had nothing to do with it, in my eyes. Our will, our determination, our perseverance, our optimism, all of those things come into play. We start looking at the glass as half empty instead of half full. That came into play. But it was back then that we had the strongest values. It was back then that we believed that village raised that child. It was back then that our family was at the core of everything we did. We had the lowest divorce rates when we had nothing, when we were just pulling ourselves up. So that's not true.
Now, I got a question for you. Is it not true because you don't want it to be? Or is it not true? The number is 614-556-4535. And I want to say this. Is it not true because you don't want it to be true? Because this is, because sometimes, like I said, once again, and I could be wrong, but sometimes we do a lot of magical thinking. You know what I'm saying? I hear you. Now, when you
it's
start...
It's not true because if you look at history, it's not true.
No, but hold on. Wait, don't, please, stay away from history. Stay in magical thought because you're not looking at the history. Really, you're not. You're looking at your feelings. You're looking at a few. No, you're not looking at history. You're not looking at history.
By African Americans.
You're not looking at history. I disagree with you. The numbers disagree with the whole idea of the history that you have. That's all I'm saying.
Whatever.
Like I said, that's that magical thinking. You're going to wish that shit away. And the oppression is going away. And this motherfucker's foot on our throat is going to go away because we're going to magically think our way up out this shit. That shit don't work. Don't talk history when you ain't talking history. This sister, she bringing up a point. There was a change in the value system, possibly in the 60s, but then on top of that, we got to understand that when you look at the timeline of America and you get historical,
you got the 60s? Are you serious? In the 60s?
Yes. That's when it started.
In the 20s. As soon as consumerism.
Hold on. But go ahead,
the consumer society, that was the first breakdown. The minute that they started to base your wealth off of the things that you had and not the worth of the position that you provided, that's when things began to break down, and that was the 20s.
No, that was actually before that because America has always been a capitalist society and wealth has always been in a sense in America. Hold on.
I said a consumer society. I didn't say I said a consumer society. Consumerism. That's what I said.
Hold on. I'm posting it up. Hold on, Allende. I'm gonna post the number up because it don't look like we're gonna make it to. We don't look like we're gonna make it to the Proverbs. Here you go. 614-556-4535. All right, that's the number. 614-556-4535. We got some other people commenting. Quasi Low said, "Sound like y'all about to fight." Don't worry about that. Me and Lady J always get like this. I love her, so there ain't gonna be no fighting popping off unless she pop me in the mouth.
I will win.
Oh, there she go.
No, I might not win, especially if you got on them running sandals. Because I was just gonna run her.
Quasi Low said, "Who is this sis talking? She sounds angry." Thank you, Quasi Low, for breaking the moment.
I'm just on fire. That's all it is. This is just passion.
And I want y'all to understand this is what Gye-Nyame journey is about, right? Different ideas. We're not talking about post-Reconstruction. Where are the products of post-1960s, 70s, and 80s? Is the question that was asked on Gye-Nyame journey. I'm assuming that this is Brother Allende. Quasi Low, if you want to call in to join the fight, by all means. What's up, Brother Allende? What you got to say, man?
Man, listen, look, man. sometimes we talk too damn much. I don't know what's going on right now, but I just need some brother and sisterhood right now. That's all. You know? Shit. Outside of the circle. You know, everybody get caught up in their feelings. You might look at Key. Do you? I mean, all of that bullshit.
You do know, Allende, that none of this is serious, right?
It's serious for me?
It ain't.
No,
I'm
it's not
serious as
serious.
hell.
I'll be up there.
Oh, no.
If you ride a surfboard, is it serious?
Hell yeah.
Man.
Okay, we on the surface. We got this.
When you playing the drums, are you serious?
I'm serious to the motherfucker.
I'm serious too. Cause the point that I'm saying is, Lady J. I mean, like I said,
because
I'm not
serious. Fuck that shit.
I'm not.
Niggas always want to laugh and shuck and jive and shit. This shit's serious.
You know, because go ahead. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I mean, you know, motherfuckers ain't playing. White folks bold than the motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying?
Walking
they
up
so
shooting
embarrassed that they against each other. You know, black folks, niggas is getting more. Niggas is becoming super niggas. You know what I'm saying? This shit is serious. Hell yeah, this shit. The intricacies is intricate stuff going on. All of this shit is serious. Shit, it's an awakening that should be coming. That should be going on. It's an awakening that should be going on. You hear me?
Word.
It's time for humility and integrity. Humble your motherfucker self and do what you say and do what the fuck you do. This is what's going on right now. Take it from a motherfucker that's the fuck mother of fuckers. I'm telling you. Yeah, because I'm a motherfucker. I'm a mama's boy. That's the only reason why I can say that. I'm fed up in a lot of motherfucking ways. And I always had a don't give a fuck attitude. Because I'm strong and I'm powerful. And God loves me. My best relationship is with God. And my motherfucking daughter right now. And the kids that I'm around that bless me. But other than that, man, fuck all y'all getting into y'all. People get into their mind state and then they image and want to run their motherfucking mouth and they get caught up in the sentence fragments and in the paragraphs and in the motherfucking chapters and shit and they own bullshit. And ain't nobody moving, ain't doing shit. Talking too goddamn much. Let's talk about some positive stuff. Let's not talk about shit where we gotta try to figure this shit out.
Fuck that.
Trying to
I'm
figure out all this shit.
Nigga. Fuck all the positive shit. We spent the last 20 years talking about positive shit. Now it's time for us to look at what the fuck is really going on. Once again, we are moving into the age of the trillionaire. Listen to me, dog. Moving into the age of the trillionaire. Now when me and you used to talk the positive shit. Well, hold on. And let me finish. Hold on. Listen.
Right, can you hear me?
Listen. Yeah. What's up, Quasi? I see you on there, Quasi. I'm gonna get you on in a second. All I'm saying is there is a serious calcification.
Quasi, I want to make some turtle soup with that turtle you had. Look, go ahead.
Go ahead, Quasi.
Nah, you said it's the age of something. I just wanted to hear what you said.
Trillionaire.
It's the age. We're moving into the age of the trillionaire. And exactly. See, and what we got is we got a bunch of black folks that I ain't gonna say black folks. We got mercenaries right now. Motherfuckers could be bought and sold. And listen, all I'm saying is this. There's a serious calcification of wealth, and it ain't coming down. And the reason I'm feeling like this right now, hold on.
I don't believe that.
Wait, stop. Wait, hold on. I ain't talking about your goddamn beliefs. I'm talking about the goddamn numbers. The numbers show that the shit is not coming down. Teacher salary. Hold on. Wait, hold on. Time out. Listen to me. Wait, hold on. Hold on. Give me some goddamn. You never gave a number. You never gave a number. You give beliefs. You know what I'm saying?
Man,
listen to me. The average wealth, and I keep on telling. Just look it up. You can look at. You can get on the census.
Who produces those numbers?
See now we getting. Wait, hold on. Now we getting into the point. Now we getting into the point where we want to just ignore shit, right? And just be like, hey, who produced the numbers? Then, like I told you before, me and you,
right,
had the skills where we could go out and we could talk to our families and we could talk to a couple of thousand people between now and Kwanzaa and come out with our own studies and then prove that shit is wrong and shut me up. But no, as Allende say, too many of us is too busy talking shit and not really want to get out and do the work. You know what I'm saying? Because it's
Hey,
cool to
living
work with the kids, but nobody want to deal with the fact that when your child calls you, because this the situation I'm in, and this why the fuck I'm mad.
Me
When
too.
my child
Me
call
too.
me, I can't give them the financial aid that they deserve.
I can't
That's
do
a
that shit right now, I
motherfucking.
tell you.
That's a motherfucker.
But this is
And
the
that
question
shit.
that I'm- this
Go
is
ahead,
what
go
I'm
ahead,
wondering,
Quasi.
though.
I'm in a position.
Why are we still arguing over the devil's toilet paper? That's what I sit up here. I hear three so-called black people sitting up here.
No, we
arguing
speak
about
strong,
the
brother.
man.
Don't get it wrong.
Hold on,
We
now,
ain't
let me
arguing. We
finish.
speak-
Let me finish, bro. Let me finish, man. Come on,
Go
man.
ahead. Go
I
ahead.
hear I hear three powerful so-called black voices.
So-called.
Don't take it personal.
Listen, man.
He got his own
Fucking
perspective.
caught up
Don't
with
just
the man.
listen.
Oh, I'm about to hang up because I don't do all that arguing shit, man. I ain't even got time.
Quasi, go and finish your statement before you hang up.
I don't want to fight all that arguing shit.
Quasi.
Hey, I'll send you my address, bro. We can work out.
Hey, I got gloves, bro. I can't wait. I chased a car down the street yesterday. I'm on one. But
Hey, I
why
got
are we
machines
sitting
for
up
that
here
shit.
arguing over a concept that's dying? Like, do y'all hear about Argentina's economy? Argentina's economy, their peso just lost 1/5 of its value today.
What the fuck they got to
Argentina's
do with
dollar
that?
just
That's
they got
that trillionaire
everything to
shit.
do with
Let
us.
him finish.
That's that trillionaire shit.
Let him
That's
finish.
If you ask him what that got to do with us, then you don't even need to be talking about money. You don't even. Need
I'm
to be in
not.
this
I'm not.
conversation.
I'm not on that money shit. I'm not talking about money. We got to come together before money first because we all imaging. And we only have respect for motherfuckers that have money and status. We need to get off of that shit and build community very grassroots and work together. We can't do that. We can't do that. We can't even accept spiritual currency or a motherfucker work with us or trust each other because we trust motherfucker with money.
That's what it's all about. It's spiritual currency, man. We don't got we using our oppressors' means of exchange and wondering why we can't elevate in the system. Like, it's not created for us to elevate. It's laughable that we even still talking about money.
I say.
All right,
If you don't get the joke,
Quasi, hold on. Now, I want to ask you one question, and I hope you don't get
let me say
offended.
this.
But
Let
why
me
was
say
you
this.
put? Wait, hold
Let
on.
me say this.
Time out. Why were you pushing your car up the street yesterday?
Who, me?
Yes.
I was pushing my car.
No, me, nigga. I was pushing my car up too the street.
I got something to say.
See, because
I just wanna
I
say
hear
that
you,
my definition-
I hear you, but
my
I need
definition of success-
I need for us, if we're gonna be nation builders, because we
My de-
always dealt with some form of currency, even just the spiritual currency. It requires a certain amount of trust, and the majority of us don't trust enough so that we can give somebody a word. Now, I know that if you give me your word, you're gonna keep it. You're not gonna break it.
No, we need money though too.
We need some means of exchange. Go ahead, Lady J. I'm sorry.
My definition of success has nothing to do with money. And that's where he was getting at earlier.
Well, nobody's definition of success has to do with money. Ultimately, everybody's success.
Yeah, it does. Yes, it does.
Yeah, no.
It does for
It only, and I'm gonna say this: it only don't have nothing to do with money when you don't got none. I'm just saying. I'm just saying.
Our kids' definition of success is money. So therefore,
but they got it from somewhere.
It ain't the wrong definition. The kids are our future. That is not.
No, you know what? You know what the right definition of success is? Something it would have to have something to do with legacy.
Okay,
it would
have
to do something. It would have to do something to do with nation building.
Let me say this.
Something to do with something passing something down to your.
You're right. But let me say this. You're right. But let me say this.
Passing something. What's that?
We in a
something?
room full of people. We are
right now.
Right. I'm saying, listen. You're right. But the majority of that room is wrong.
Leave it at that.
The majority of this room is wrong. But their wrong becomes right. Do you understand what I'm saying?
You talking about the current state of the world? Sister Jill says the practice.
So how you gonna combat you being right by your damn self and everybody else being wrong?
I'm not.
You become wrong.
I'm not. I don't think so. I don't.
We got to
think
get
so.
the joke, man. We got to get the joke, man. I'm saying, if our
I
kids,
got what you just said, and that was real deep. That was, and I really
so we got to roll with that.
I did.
We got to swallow that. We got to swallow that and move accordingly. Even though we wrong, you keep your finger on what we write about. We write about, but we rolling dead wrong. Motherfuckers always talking about Yende crazy, Yende this and that. I understand a lot of motherfucking shit. You know my dad? Goddamn. But I got a motherfucker walk around this motherfucker humble like Jesus, and I ain't motherfucking Jesus, and I ain't white. But what I'm saying is, to understand some stuff and move slow. Slow is fast, fast is slow. To have this mundane, we having a good conversation here. We having a beautiful conversation here, but we need to create a culture that is relevant and sustaining. And we only need, like how Tim always says, 10 people.
That's it.
20 people. We only need that.
It's 10%.
That's all we need.
Our ancestor told us that.
Let's not try to argue the point to win favor. Let's move on and make steps and make moves. Let's do that.
One more statement. Hold on.
Let's do that shit.
The practice.
We can have a car show with 2 cars. And guess what? That motherfucker be successful because one's Malcolm X and the other one is Marcus Garvey car. Instead of ramen noodles and motherfucking, some brainwash shit, SpongeBob.
Right.
And then
but like I said, we
have
to
our shit into fruition. Let's not speak in the past. Let's not talk about the past.
I agree.
Trying to gain the future.
But hold on. Let me just say this,
not
bro.
Make us tired after we get finished talking about that shit.
Hold on.
Because we arguing, like Quasi said, my brother, my young nation builder, my young
here we go.
Nation builder said.
Gye-Nyame Journey. This is Sister Jill. She said the practice of the past are closest to the ancestral values that elevate us, and we have to always fight to maintain our value and our elevation. Are we out? Now, family, I apologize. We had a good conversation. I knew I should have just jumped right into the Proverbs. When I'm going to jump into Lady J sets me the fuck off. And I want to thank you, Lady J, for being who you are. I want to thank Allende for calling in. I want to thank Brother Quasi. We will cover these Proverbs next week. I mean,
what you doing tomorrow?
Who, me?
Yeah.
Working or barely working.
Oh, my God.
That's what people talking. Put it on me.
Hey, listen. I'm one of those. I'm one of those that have received the blessings of my ancestors. So I'm able to move. So what's up? Just call me.
I'm gonna be at the. I'm gonna go check out what they doing tomorrow at 3:00 at the Moorish Summit.
Oh, I'm gonna still be in school at that time, so I ain't that free. But go and check it out. Let me know.
Yeah,
you might need to take your phone and turn and interview some people for me and shit. You know what I'm saying?
I'm gonna open the drum call. They ain't doing that. No, they gonna do the same shit they tried to do in the 60s and 70s, get some land and shit and some.
Can I say goodnight to the people?
But I'ma still. You already did.
I did not.
I'm messing with you. But anyways, I'm gonna be there. I'll talk to you twice.
If I don't let her say goodnight, you know what I'm saying?
It's gonna be a whole problem.
She gonna pursue me at work. So go and say what you got to say, woman, and so we can go and have a peaceful night.
Black woman, put some respect on that woman. Black woman.
I just wanted to say great evening, good night, sweet dreams to everyone listening, and hello to all those people going to listen in the future. I just want to remind everyone that we are in the midst of the Great Awakening. Remember, every day, today, tomorrow, do something in support of the movement. If everybody did one thing every day, it would be awesome. Read a book, article, educate yourself. Teach your children how to think, not what to think. Donate to a cause. Volunteer your time and or services at a school near you, at a rec center near you, at a church near you. Who cares? Go out
I do. No.
I'm not finished. Go out and put your hands on these youth. Use your social media platforms to enlighten and to inform. That is your a platform. We have the power. We can promote and continue to bombard our people's minds with positive images of us so that they will be empowered to rise above. Sign petitions, march, vote, participate politically, participate in a boycott. Remember, the more money, the more change you leave.
How about we boycott 107.5? The Great Awakening they started till we get that music changed on the goddamn Radio 1.
If we want change,
ain't nobody fooling nobody with that bullshit. It sounds good, Great Awakening shit, but the same ass brainwash ass music is fucking up our view.
If we want change,
good night.
If we want change, we got to turn off the TVs, as Brother Allende just said, and we got to learn how to keep more change in our pockets. The choice is ours. Do what we can to make this change. The power is in our hands.
Thank you, Lady J, for showing perseverance and being on purpose. And listen, and I want to, and regardless of what happens on the show, know that I love you and I appreciate you and I appreciate your different view. You know what I'm saying? And I want to encourage more people because if it's a great awakening, we have to test each other metal, and we have to learn to have compassion and learn how to conversate. And we need to be able to demonstrate that we can disagree without necessarily being disagreeable, and we can have these discussions. We can have these discussions amongst ourselves because this is right now it's family. I know they listening on the other side. I don't give a fuck about them. I'm more concerned about us being able to have a conversation and being able to ask for help or being able to disagree in a healthy manner. So family, I want to thank you. I apologize for not getting to the Proverbs. I promise that this weekend we will do some extended shows. We will get through this week's folktale, this week proverb, because I'm going to do extended show on Kuumba and Imani. I hope those of you that was offended and felt that it was negative talk, call back. You know what I'm saying? Or at least add your voice to the conversation. I want to thank everybody that typed something up. I appreciate each and every last one of y'all for taking time to join us on Gye-Nyame Journey. And I hope that reality, or at least my view of reality, because I can't call it reality, at least what I'm seeing, does not scare you so much that you put your head back in the sand when, regardless of how I see it, there's something coming. You know what I'm saying? And we need to tribe up. We need to start learning about each other. We need to start trusting each other. I want to thank you for joining us on Gye-Nyame Journey Media. This is a Heart of Simba production, and I want to welcome you to the Congregation of the Mighty. Well, we strive to I'm striving to understand why my daughter's still up. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. Get upstairs. I'm sorry. It's real life here at Gye-Nyame Journey. We strive to blow up your old paradigm. And they walking by me like I'm wrong. Tribe up. Peace. They actually looked at me like I was wrong. Like I'm crazy. Am I wrong? Y'all vote. You know what I'm saying? Throw some thumbs up if I'm wrong. You know what I'm saying? Throw some laughs up if they wrong. Because this shit is crazy. I am confused as a parent. I am conflicted. You know what I'm saying? Blow it up. That's what I'm about to do. Somebody about to... All right, good night, y'all. Peace.